click is all it takes to lose everything.
We are in a cyber war. You can either be a defendant or you could be a victim.
I'm in the car heading back from a meeting, and I will tell you I'm always thinking cybersecurity. And as I was looking out the window, I saw a speed limit sign, and it reminded me of security policies. Most companies have a document that's called a security policy. However, it's not an effective policy because it is not clear, it is not understood, and it's not uniformly enforced. A speed limit sign's a great example of a policy because it is accessible. Wherever you drive, wherever you go, you can see those signs. Second, it's specific. It doesn't say do not speed. It says 65 miles an hour. Also, the most important part, it's enforced. Not always, but if you consistently go over the speed limit, there's a high probability you will get pulled over by a police officer. That's the model we want to use for our security policies. So here's the checks you want to go through. First, if a security policy is like a speed limit, where it's the laws of security for your business, the first question is, should people read it? Well, of course. If they don't read it, they can't follow it. So question, how long is your security policy? If it's more than 5 pages, do you really believe anyone's going to read it? I have clients of mine, when they bring us in, they go, Eric, why is our policy not effective? And it's 100 pages. Be honest with me. If you're a security professional, have you even read it? If you don't read it as a security professional, I know the users won't. It has to be 5 pages or less, ideally 3 pages. And people go, but Eric, there's no way I can say everything in 5 pages. Exactly. You're not supposed to be saying everything. You're only supposed to be focusing in on the high-risk security areas. And if you can't do it in 5 pages, it means you're doing it way too wordy and you're not focused on the areas correct. I love the phrase that which would you rather do? Would you rather go in and write a 2-page paper or a 30-page paper? Most people that are inexperienced writers would say, oh, the 2-page paper. Honestly, I will take a 30-page paper any day of the week, because if it's 30 pages, I can just dump a lot of information and I can knock that out in about 5 hours. If you ask me to write a concise 2-page essay, we're talking 3 or 4 days, because it requires a lot more rework. So it's counterintuitive, but the shorter the document, the harder it is to do. But you want those policies to be 3 to 5 pages, otherwise people will not read them. Next question, if a policy is the laws, do you expect people to understand them? Well, of course. So question, who wrote your policy? If it's security people or lawyers, that's wrong, and here's why. They're both weird. Have you ever listened to yourself speak? I tell you, I go to dinner parties and hang out with folks, and I'm having this great conversation, and people look at me going, I have no idea what you said, but you were enthusiastic, right? We're geeks, we have a weird language. And we'll pick on lawyers. Have you ever talked to an attorney? They speak their own language, right? It's crazy. So you don't want your policies written in a language the average person doesn't understand. Now, yes, security and attorneys must review your policy, but they shouldn't be writing it. They shouldn't be the ones writing it. It needs to be in common language. So great. We now have a 3 to 5 page policy that's written in common terms. The next question, is it enforced? What are the repercussions if you don't follow it? And I'll give you a perfect example. Near my house, there are 2 roads. They're parallel. They're both 2-lane highways, and they both have a speed limit of 45 miles an hour. One of the roads, everybody goes 45 miles an hour. Nobody ever speeds. The second road is the Autobahn. Everyone goes 80, 90 miles an hour. What's the difference? You got it. One is enforced with police officers, the other isn't. Now, yes, there are some really good law-abiding citizens that will always follow the speed limit, whether it's enforced or not, but most people need a little encouragement, right? They need a little nudge to do it. So if you're not enforcing your policy, nobody's going to follow it. So the simple question, when was the last time somebody got fired? Or when was the last time somebody didn't get promoted for not following the policy? If your answer is never, then you have an unenforceable policy. So if you want to make a difference in your organization, the security policy lays that foundation, and make sure your security policy is 3 to 5 pages, written in a common language and uniformly enforced. And if you start with those 3 areas, people will start following security, and you will make a difference in securing and protecting your organization.